Hi everyone, how are we doing? We are live, so let's get started. Let's get all my windows in place. So, yeah, see my guitar. Right, cool. Hi everyone, welcome. It's Thursday night, 7 p.m. This means only one thing these days. It's live stream guitar lesson time with the Jam Station. My name's Arron, and I'm here every Thursday, and we're focusing on the modes at the moment. So come and build your knowledge with me week by week. So for the last 5 sessions, we've taken a fairly technical scalic approach to the modes, which makes sense. They are scales after all. But we've been running them up and down to the backing track and gradually expanding the range of each note. So we're going to do something different this week. So just to sort of recap the last few sessions, we started with a mode. I'm going to use Lydian as the example each time here. We did 1 octave in A shape. Okay, so there is 1 octave in A shape. Okay, then the second week we added the 7th beneath the root. Okay, so we played a 16th note study there. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and into the 7th, back to the root 1. Okay, the week after that, we played the 9th on top of the octave. Okay, so we went up our scale into the 9th and came back down. So you can see we've been expanding the scale in both directions. And then finally last week, we included both the 7th below and the 9th above, counting triplets this time. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 1. 6 more triplets, and that's where we're up to. So for this week, we're going to do something slightly different. We're going to basically take each mode in turn to create an arpeggio. We're going to extract the notes, the relevant notes, to create 5 very cool and interesting sounding arpeggios to practice and then combine with the modes in future lessons starting next Thursday. Do you know, I said lessons when I was practicing this earlier as well. Can't believe it. Tab for everything tonight is on Patreon free. The link is in the description, so click and download that. Let's get started. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you all 5 arpeggios in a little bit of an exercise to a backing track. Okay, you can also get the backing track from Bandcamp, also linked below. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. That's the first one. That's what we'll be putting together before the end of the session. So what will you gain from tonight's session? Point 1, some technical development. Okay, we're going to improve your picking hand technique and a bit of left and right hand coordination. And obviously arpeggios do feel different from scales. Number 2, arpeggios. We're going to create and play arpeggios using the cage system A shape. We'll all be in this position, okay? This is going to give you some potentially new fingerings to break out from some of the more scale-based licks that guitarists are known to play. A little bit too much if you'd ask a saxophone player. Point 3, intervals and music theory, okay? We're not going to go overboard with this, but we're going to take each of the modes that we've looked at for the last few live streams, extract the root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th to create these cool shapes. So, modes and arpeggios. Excuse me. So as I said, last week we added a 9th on top, okay? We're going to retain that 9th this week for our 5 arpeggios, and these are called 5-note arpeggios. Now, what is a 5-note arpeggio? To answer that question, I need to go back to 3-note arpeggios, really. Triads, okay? Now, I'm sure many of you have played triads before. They are a root, a 3rd, and a 5th, okay? Apologies if you know this, but this is just a little bit of background for the people who may not have a large amount of music theory in their back pocket yet. So root, a 3rd, and a 5th, okay? The reason we choose those notes, we play our root, skip our 2nd, play the 3rd, okay? Skip the 4th to play the 5th. Root, 3rd, 5th. They could be played separately or melodically, or they could be played together harmonically, okay? And these could be minor, major, diminished, augmented. We'll be talking about that later in the e-training session. The next step is to create 4-note arpeggios by adding in a 7th. So we keep our root, 3rd, 5th, we skip the 6th and go straight up to the 7th. So we now have a 1, 2, 3, 4 note arpeggio with a root, a 3rd, a 5th, and a 7th. Okay, these are 7th chords, 4 note chords. Tonight we're going to add in the 9ths as well. So we keep our root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, skip the octave to play the 9th. Those are our 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and we'll have various combinations of 3rds, 5ths, 7ths, and 9ths to create our different arpeggios. So that's what a 5-note arpeggio is. Now, because our 7 modes all contain different combinations of intervals, that means we're going to get different arpeggios as well. I think the best way for us to understand this is to run a couple of examples and just see it in action. Okay, so I'm going to start with the major scale. And the reason I'm starting with the major scale is because it's likely to be the scale that most people watching this know. So even if you've not done any modes yet, you probably will know the major scale. It's our root, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th octave. Okay, come back down. And it's a good place to start. I'm playing this in E, by the way, fret 7 of the A string. It's a good place to start because there are no sharps, there are no flats. I'm talking about the intervals here, okay? 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th octave. We'll also include the 9th, okay? But there are no flats or sharps. So we're going to start there. So we're going to extract from that scale the 3rd, it's a major 3rd, the 5th, okay, so we've got root, 3rd, 5th, and then skip the 6th, go up to the 7th. So we've got root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. This is all on the tab available on Patreon. And then finally, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. Okay, so the fingering for that is going to be 7 on the A string, 6 on the D, 9 on the D, 8 on G, 7 on B. So just get that under the fingers. There's no rush here. I'm just going to loop that a few times, look. And if you're used to playing pentatonic scales, it might, which is obviously 2 notes per string, it might feel a little bit odd to sort of skip around 1 note, 1 note, 1 note. But it's a great way of developing your technique and creating some fresh sounds when you're soloing. Maybe we can play this with some 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. Let's loop that. Try and accent the beat. That's a nice, easy way of practicing it. If you wanted to spice that up a little bit rhythmically, we could count triplets, okay? Because then the beat will fall in different places. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. You get the idea. Right, that's our major 9th arpeggio. Let's try it to the backing track, okay? It's going to be 4 beats to count in. I'm playing 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. One arpeggio down, 4 to go. Right, now the second mode in our system we've been working on is Lydian. Now this is nice and easy for us because when we change from Ionian or the major scale to Lydian, the 1 note we're changing is the 4th. So the major scale has a perfect 4th there, while Lydian has a sharp 4 there, okay? Now the good news is with regards to the arpeggios we're playing today is that because our arpeggios contain a root, a 3rd, a 5th, a 7th, and a 9th, there is no 4th. So therefore we're going to use the exact same arpeggio over Lydian, or combined with Lydian, as we would with Ionian. So I'm going to play Ionian. And then the accompanying arpeggio. And now I'm going to do the same with Lydian. Look, Lydian changes to 4th, but the arpeggio is the same. Beautiful. Right, good. So we can actually skip straight to our mode 3, which is Mixolydian. Okay, if you've played Mixolydian before, you'll know that the note we're changing when we go from the major scale or Ionian mode to Mixolydian, we're going root, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. That's all the same. But then we now have a flat 7. Okay, so major scale, major 7th, Mixolydian, flat 7. Okay, it's 2 strings across, but at the same fret. Very common in blues, in jazz. Okay, you'll hear it in soul music. So because we're changing the seventh, that is one of the intervals in the arpeggio. That means our arpeggio will also change. So if we had root, third, fifth, seventh, ninth, that's our major ninth arpeggio. We're now going to have root, third, fifth, flat, 7, 9. Let's get that under the fingers, okay? Just take your time, pick it at your own speed. Aim for accuracy rather than speed at this point. Now, one little interesting point here is that we're not using our third finger on the G string, we're now using our middle finger on both the G and B strings. This is called a roll, okay? So what you would be tempted to do in the early stages, as many a student has shown me, is that you kind of, for the sake of easiness, you jump the finger across. The disadvantage of that is the fact that the notes then become broken up, okay? Staccato. What we want is those notes to be joined together, legato. So we use a fretboard roll. That means using the tip on the lower note, which in this case is on the G string, across to the flat of the finger on the B. Now you'll see I'm actually exaggerating that movement quite a lot, and I'm not just moving the finger, I'm moving the whole arm. That's not a bad thing at all. Really exaggerate it to really feel tip, pad, tip, pad. So okay, root, third, fifth, flat, 7, 9. That's our one change. Let's count it 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1. Good. It's a nice sound. What I'd also like to do, lost my way there, but now I was watching. What I'd also like to do is play that as triplets again. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. This is called rhythmic displacement, a topic we've spoken about a lot on the channel over the last couple of years. Okay, it's a great way of improving your rhythmic perception. We could also, if you wanted to go even harder on that idea, we could do 5s. Okay, so you could count university, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it on the dominant arpeggio now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. University, university, U. I need to sneeze. Right. Excuse me. I'm sure the mic picked that up. Right, let's join those two modes together. Major ninth to dominant ninth. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, that's 3 modes down, 2 arpeggios. Let's move on to another one. So our next mode in the sequence would be Dorian. The transition from Mixolydian to Dorian is flattening the third. Okay, so we have had up to this point a major third, G sharp. We're going to say goodbye to that now to play a minor third. Straight away, you can hear the power of that note. Okay, major, minor. Okay, but we're going to play it there. So root, second, flat third. Of course, the third is one of our notes in the arpeggio, so this is also going to give us a new arpeggio. Root, flat third, fifth, and then we keep the same flat 7 and the same ninth. Get that under the fingers, it's in the tab. Did I mention the tabs on Patreon? Did I mention our Patreon is $2 a month at the minute? Okay, there are a lot of you going onto the page. We can see on the stats, there's a lot of you downloading the stuff. Not as many of you as we would like actually getting your credit cards out. Right, so this is a minor ninth arpeggio. Okay, we've had major 9, dominant 9. Now root, flat third makes something minor, fifth, flat 7, ninth. So minor 9. 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Let's count it as triplets. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And now quintuplets or 5s. university, 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 You get the idea. Right, let's join the three together in a sequence. So we have major 9, flat on the 7, dominant 9, flat on the 3rd, minor 9. Right, to the backing track. 2, 3, 4. Good. Right, when we move to the next mode, which is the Aeolian, also known as the natural minor, you'll notice that if you've watched these previous lessons, you'll see that the note we're changing is the 6th. Dorian has a major 6th, really lovely sound that. We're going to flatten that to the minor 6th, but we're going to play it there, C natural. Okay, so we've got 7, 9, 10, 7, 9, 10, and then the rest of the scale is the same. Now, as before, because the 6th is not included in our arpeggio at this stage, it's not going to produce a new arpeggio. So we're going to have the same minor 9 arpeggio. I'm going to go up and down Aeolian, and then up and down our arpeggio. Okay? Right, that's another one, 2 for the price of 1. So Dorian, Aeolian produce the same arpeggio. So we can actually skip straight to the next mode in our system, which is Phrygian. It's my favorite mode because it has that beautiful flat 2. Okay, really Spanishy sounding scale. I'm not going to go into too much of that tonight because tonight's about the arpeggios. Now, our arpeggios feature a 9th as the highest note. So therefore, we have root, flat 3rd from before, 5th, flat 7, and now rather than the 9th there, we're going to play a flat and 9th, F natural. Now, we can't really play it there because it's quite an awkward fingering, so we're going to play that F there, okay? So we've got a flat 9 in the lower octave, and then a flat 9 in the higher octave as well, okay? So 7, 8, 10 on the A, 7, 9, 10 on the D, 7, 9, 10, flat 9. Beautiful sound, okay? So the arpeggio will look like this. I'll count 16 notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2. Let's count triplets. 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Straight away, it's more interesting because of that rhythmic displacement element. Okay, we're not always having the root fall on the beat every time. 5s, why not? Okay, so university, 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 university. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Little practice tip here, okay, before we move on to the last arpeggio, okay. Now, one thing, when you're taking new shapes on like this, one thing I've seen a lot with students is getting them to spend enough time on each shape for it to really sink into the fingers. That does take motivation to sort of loop and loop and loop something. So a great idea is to take a shape like this and move it through the circle of fourths or the circle of fifths. We've spoken, particularly the circle of fifths, we've spoken about the circle of fifths a lot on this channel over the years. So let's do the circle of fourths tonight. So what I'm going to do is, rather than ask you to play or expect a student to play an arpeggio 20, 30 times or for 2 minutes running, I'm going to ask you to play it twice, but then move it up into the new key through the circle of fourths. So if we started in C, for example, I'm going to play that same arpeggio. So this one marked on the tab is -7, flat 9. There's the flat 9. Okay, play it twice. Upper fourth is F. Play it twice. Upper fourth is B flat. Upper fourth is E flat. Now what you'll see is I'm already playing this quite a few times. Upper fourth is A flat. hello. Upper fourth is D flat. So we're now combining not only a new arpeggio exercise, but we're also combining that with a little bit of music theory with the cycle of fourths. That's D flat. Up another one will be F sharp. Twice. Upper fourth B. Upper fourth E. Upper fourth A. We're nearly back to the beginning. Okay, upper fourth D. And upper fourth G. And then finally you're back up another fourth to C, which is where we started. But we've moved that, we've played that twice and moved it through 12 different keys. So we've actually played that 26 times. Well, if I'd said to you, play that arpeggio as many times as you can before you sort of lose interest in it or you lose motivation, you probably wouldn't have played it 24 times consecutively. Okay, so that is a really useful tip, and you can apply that to licks, you can apply that to scales, modes, and in this case, arpeggios. Okay, if you can't remember, if you haven't learned the cycle of fourths yet, and it's not an easy thing to memorize, if I'm honest, just write it down, have it in front of you on a piece of paper. Okay, these are my notes in order. And then if you know where the root notes are on that A string, you can just move your arpeggio or your lick around. Right, that was a nice little interval on improving your practice efficiency. We have one more mode and one more arpeggio. Okay, so we were here at -7, flat 9, root, flat third, fifth, flat 7, flat 9. The only note we've not flattened is the fifth. Now, thankfully, when we move to Locrian, which is our last mode, we have just that root, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. Okay, so there's our flattened fifth or a diminished fifth. So that means we also produce a new arpeggio. Root, flat third, flat fifth, flat 7, flat 9. I like this one. It's quite a dark sound. You'd use that with half diminished chords, -7 flat 5 chords. Okay. The arpeggio would be called a -7 flat 5 flat 9. -7 flat 5 flat 9. It's much easier to play than it sounds or looks written down on the page. Okay. And again, I would do the same thing. I'd take it through. Okay. Let's do it together. C, upper fourth, F. Upper fourth, B flat. This is really good practice. Upper fourth, E flat. Upper fourth, A flat. Upper fourth, D flat. Upper fourth, F sharp. Into the sharp keys now. Upper fourth, B. Upper fourth, E. Upper fourth, A. Could also play it in the open position. Upper fourth, D. Upper fourth, G. We've only got one more then and we're back to C. Okay, so we played that -7 flat 5 flat 9 arpeggio in all 12 keys. Who's watching? Where are you watching from? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Come on, I can see you there. Just as I just swig a tea. Gone. It's like when you're busking. I used to busk a lot in London in my early 20s. And as soon as you stop playing, you can guarantee there'll be no more money going into your guitar case. So you just got to keep playing. If you're sat there for 2 or 3 hours, you've got to play for 2 or 3 hours, because any time spent not playing is time spent with no money going into your case. And it's the same here. If I'm not talking or playing my guitar, the chances of the viewers building up is pretty slim. Right, so that was our last arpeggio. So let's join them together to the backing track. So just to recap, hopefully you've got the tab downloaded from Patreon for free, but we started with a major 9. Then we worked flat into the 7th, okay? and played dominant 9. Then we flattened the 3rd and did minor 9. Then we flattened the 9th and played minor 7 flat 9. And then finally we flattened the 5th, diminished 5th, and played minor 7 flat 5 9. Let's do it to the backing track. 2, 3, 4. Major 9, dominant 9, minor 9, minor 7 flat 9, minor 7 flat 5 flat 9. Right, cool. And that is our full exercise. So the backing track there changes every chord. Okay, so it's not useful for much other than playing this exercise, unless you really, really wanted to practice moving between them quickly. But right, well, I think it's nearly past, so I think I'm going to go straight into the ear training. Let's do my quick little spiel. So thanks for watching until the end of this part of the session on the modes, and thank you even more if you've clicked like and subscribe. I'm about to start a quick fire ear training session, so feel free to stay with me for that and work on your ears, okay? This goes really well with work on modes because, of course, so much of modes is intervals, okay? So either way, drop us a line with any thoughts or feedback or questions. I'm really loving these live streams, but obviously feedback's really good as well. Maybe my mic could be louder. Maybe my t-shirt could be louder. But we'll be back same time next week, Thursday, 7 p.m. And remember, you can support our work on Patreon. We put up a lot of our tab for free. That's to make it as accessible to as many people as possible. But membership is currently only $2 a month. So if you are using our tab tonight, for example, it is free. But if you can afford $2 a month, that would also really help support our work. Right, let's get on with the ear training. So, welcome if you've popped in. I try and start this section at around 7:30. So I'm a little bit early, but that's cool. We're going to start, as we did last week, by singing some semitones just to make a connection between our guitars or our instruments and our voices, okay? And the reason we sing semitones is to it's the smallest unit of note we can move up or down on a guitar, apart from like quarter tone bends, okay? So it's really good practice. So what we're going to do, we're going to play a note, you're going to sing that note on your guitar, and then you're going to move your voice up a semitone, but without doing it on your guitar first. So the idea is that you feel a clash between this note, okay? There's a nice, quite a pleasing clash created between the note of your guitar and the note of your voice. And then that clash is resolved as you move your finger up the semitone. So let's just keep moving up and up a semitone, okay? La, 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 la. I'm going to drop down now to a lower note. La, 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 la. And what we can add this week from last week is the descending semitone. Last week we only went up in semitones. So now I'm going to play a note. La. Okay, feel that? La. It's important for your ear to be able to feel that semitone. So here's the note. La. Again, you should hear that brief moment of collision between the two notes, which resolves as you move the hand down. La, la, la. What you may find is your voice needs to micro adjust as you bring the finger down to the note that you're singing. There'll be a tiny bit of adjustment until you've done it a bit, okay? And then you'll be more accurate. Right, that's a nice warm-up between voice and guitar. Now, I'm going to play a mode now, and I want you to try and recognize the mode. Now, that may seem difficult if you've not done a lot of work on modes before, But we're going to start. I'm going to give you the major scale as a reference point. Okay. And then I'm going to play another mode, but not tell you what it is. Now, some of you will be able to hear that mode and identify what it is. You'll be able to hear that, oh, okay, this note's changed. That makes it this. If you're not able to do this yet, it doesn't matter. You can still actually get a lot by trying to work out which note has changed. Okay, so try and count through and recognize when you hear something that wasn't in the major scale. And that's like a nice stepping stone up to be able to hear a mode and know what it is. So here's the major scale again. Okay, and then here is the mode. Which mode is it? I'll do that again. Okay. So either tell me what the mode is, or feel free to drop it in the comments, or if you're not sure what the mode is, which note has changed from the major scale. Okay, so again, here's the major scale. Here is the mode. Right, let's go a little bit louder. The note that changed was the 7th. Okay, we had a flat 7. Now our major scale with a flattened 7th becomes Mixolydian mode. So that mode was in fact E Mixolydian. Let's do another one. Okay, so reset your ears. Here's the major scale. What mode is this? Close your eyes if you feel you're tempted to look at my hands. Major scale. Oh, major scale. Then the mode. Right. The note that changed was the 4th. Major scale has a perfect 4th. We had a sharp 4, which makes that Lydian. Okay? Really beautiful sounding mode. Really exotic and beautiful. Right, one more, and then we move on to the next. We move on to some interval recognition. So, here's your major scale. No, that's Lydian. Here's your major scale. Which mode is this? Which mode? I'll play that again. Which mode is this? Okay, tell me. Here we go. So, the notes that changed. We had a flat 2nd. That should have been the first thing that sort of jumps out at you with a little bit of practice this year, rather than hearing the major 2nd, which is quite a sweet sound. Flat 2 is quite a sinister sound. And then we also had a flat 3rd. So we had a minor mode with a flat 2. Okay. And straight away, that combination there screams Phrygian. Flat 2, flat 3. So that was Phrygian. Okay. We do a little bit of this each week, and your ears become much sharper at, first of all, just hearing when we have a deviation from what you expect in the major scale, to then starting to recognizing groups of intervals together and recognizing the sound or mood of a mode. Right, interval recognition. So you'll need a pen and a paper for this bit, or page on your iPhone, whatever. Okay, I'm going to play some intervals. So there'll be a root note and then another note, a higher note. You tell me what the interval is. And we'll stop halfway through, check scores, and then I'll do the second half as well. So here is our first interval. I'm going to keep changing the root note. Okay, so the first one, remember, you're not looking at my hands here. You're looking away, closing your eyes, whatever. Here's the first interval. So that is the interval melodically. And then here it is harmonically, playing the two notes together. Interval number 2. Here is the root note. There's the interval. Okay. And then harmonically, i.e. the two notes together. Interval number 3. Here we go. Change the root note again. Which interval is that? Feel free to drop the answer into the comments or just click like when you've got the answer. So there it is melodically. And here it is harmonically. Where are you guys watching from? Drop us a comment. Could be anywhere in the world. That's what's the fascinating thing about these live streams. Someone could be watching from anywhere. You may have just gotten up. Do you know what I mean? While it's 7:30 p.m. for me here. Right, that's number 3. Number 4 is this. That's melodic. Here's harmonic. What interval is that? There's a nice tension there. Number 5, here we go. What interval is that? There it is, melodically, harmonically. Okay. One more, and then I'm going to give you the answers to the first half. So number 6 is this. Change the root note again. It's a really dark interval, that one. And then harmonically. Right, the answers to those first 6 intervals. Number 1 was a major 6th. Okay, so if you know My Way by Frank Sinatra, and now the end is near, or perhaps you know it in the blues riff. Those are a series of chromatically descending 6ths. Okay, number 2 was a flat 2. Okay, really sort of dark sound. Doesn't sound so bad melodically, but harmonically. I think I played it from D flat actually. Yeah, I did. It was D flat. Okay, that is nasty. When you put that within a chord, it can sound really beautiful, but on its own like that, it's pretty sinister. Number 3 was a 7th. I played it from there. Okay, A. It's the Superman theme. Okay. And number 4 was a 2nd. I played that from here. Okay, G to A. Happy birthday. Here it is harmonically. Number 5 was a 5th. Twinkle, twinkle. These are the sounds you're recognizing. A, B, C, D. Ba, ba, black sheep. Okay, there's your perfect 5th. And finally, number 6 I did here. No, sorry, it was here. Yeah, it was a flattened 6th, a minor 6th. Okay. So if you know The Entertainer, the piano tune by Scott Joplin, that is the 6th. You've got the little chromatic run up. Those are flat 6ths. Right. How did that go? Let's do the last 6 as well. Okay, so there won't be any repetition. These will all be intervals that weren't included in those first 6. Here we go. So this is number 7. That's melodic, harmonic. This is number 8. Let's go deep. Fairly recognizable, that one. Number 9. Melodic. And then harmonic. Number 10. You'll notice I've covered a slightly wider area of the fretboard tonight. That's deliberate, okay? Week 1, we literally stayed in the same key for all of them, and I've gradually started opening up the area of the fretboard. That makes it slightly more challenging because our ears tend to recognize the pitch of the notes that our voices use. So as we expand beyond that, it's slight more strain for the ears, but in a good way. Right, number 11, this is the penultimate interval. Which interval is that? So that is harmonic and then melodic. And then our final interval of this test, number 12. What is that? I always hear the same thing with that one. There's melodic. Harmonic, okay? That's number 12. Right, the answers from number 7 to 12. So, number 7 was this. It was a third. Oh, when the saints, but the important part being, oh, when, 1, 3. Then we had an octave. So number 8 was an octave. We did it from G. Okay. There it is, slightly higher. There it is, higher still. It's very recognisable that, because the frequency of that note is exactly double of. There's no clash at all. They just sit together beautifully. Then we had a flat third. So the minor third is very much a minor sound, but you'll also hear it in Whole Lot of Love. Quite a few other things. Number 10 was a flat 7, which I believe I did from here. Okay, you'll hear that in your, we did that tonight in the dominant 7th. Arpeggio was a big part of that. Number 11 was a 4th. Okay, which I may have done from C actually. Okay. Here comes the bride, away in a manger. That is the sound of a 4th. Okay. Smoke on the Water is also famously a riff played in 4ths. We're just moving that perfect 4th around. Obviously, they're played harmonically there because they're played together. And finally, our last interval of the test was a flattened 5th or diminished 5th. Okay. I always smile there because the thing I hear there is The Simpsons. The Simpsons. Okay. If you're a bit more old school, you might recognise Maria. Maria. Okay. Which is Leonard Bernstein. But again, it's a very distinctive sound. I always find the interesting thing about the flat 5th or the sharp 4 is this is a perfect example how context can affect how our ears and our brains perceive the sound of a note. So if I play that note there as a flattened 5th, so a good example of a flat 5 would be the blues scale. That note has a very sort of dark and sinister quality about it. Okay. If I play Lydian, that same note becomes a sharp 4. So it's now a note that's kind of been raised as opposed to reduced. And suddenly, it's got such a beautiful quality to it. That's exactly the same note with exactly the same root note. Okay? The interval is the same. But the musical context is completely different. Okay? So, blues scale, that becomes a flattened 5th. While Lydian, it's a sharp 4, it has a completely different characteristic and mood. Food for thought. Right, let's do a little bit of chord recognition. So this is going to be triads. These are going to be major, minor, diminished, or augmented. Feel free to tap your answer in the comments. What kind of triad is this? Don't look at my hands, okay? Type your answer in the comments. What triad is that? Major, minor, augmented, or diminished? Nice easy one to start with. Okay. All right, that is minor. Let's do another one. What kind of triad is this? Just leave an answer in the comments, or feel free to comment and tell me where you're watching from. It's a real sort of dark and spooky sound, that. That is an augmented triad. Okay. So if you want a couple of examples to sort of ways of recognizing that sound, because it is quite a distinctive sound. It's got like a James Bond quality to it. You'll have heard that at the start of No Particular Place to Go by Chuck Berry, and he actually opens that song with a D augmented chord. Riding along in an automobile. So it's 5 chord rather than be a D7, which would be typical of the period. He played a D augmented triad, and it gives a really sort of urgent quality. You know, it's really shocking when it comes out of the speakers. It's got quite a bright, harsh sound as well. Okay, so that's one example of an augmented triad. You'll also, if you're into the Allman Brothers, fantastic blues band, but they did a great version of Stormy Monday Blues, which starts with that 1 chord moved up and down chromatically, and then the 5 chord starts there with an augmented. So again, it's a 5 chord played as an augmented triad. Okay, and that's because the sharp 5th does bring in really nice tension. Right, which triad is this? Ooh. No, sorry, what triad is this? I'm not got that right either. Here we go. What triad is this? That is a diminished triad. You don't find that very often. Okay, normally if you see diminished on a chord chart, you would play a diminished 7th, which would sound more like that. Okay, which has got slightly more colour and character to it. But you do occasionally come across a diminished triad. There it is. It's a little bit blander. Okay, but you can still move it up and down. Right, what kind of triad is this? And then we're going to move on to some 7th chords. Here we go. What kind of triad is that? This is what we call a root position. Oh, my screen's about to switch off. Let's just pop that back on. This is what we call a root position triad, because it literally runs in order. So we've got root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd. Okay, nothing weird going on there. That's a major triad. Okay, easy one. Right, let's finish with some 7th chords. Okay, so the types of 7 chords that I could play would be a major 7. It's got that lovely, sleepy, dreamy quality to it. It could be a dominant 7, so I'm taking the 7th out to play a flat 7. Okay, so that's a dominant sound. So sleepy, dreamy major 7. Slightly bluesy and jazzy dominant 7. Okay, minor 7, really lovely soulful sound, smooth. Okay, that always reminds me of a slow train running. Okay, so that there, we're hammering into a minor 7th chord there. So major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, and then a new one for this week is going to be a minor 7 flat 5. Okay, so they're all from the same root. Much less common that in pop music. It does rear its head in jazz quite a lot, and you'll also hear in classical music. Right, here we go. So don't look at my hands. Oh, you fell off my chair there. One viewer there currently could have seen me fall off my chair. Right, what kind of 4-note chord is this? What kind of 7th chord is this? major 7th chord, okay? It's got that sleepy. Okay, I always hear the Coldplay treble. That is just a major 7 arpeggio played into a riff. Right, what about this one? Let's change the root note. What kind of 7th chord is this? What kind of 7th is that? That is a minor 7, flat 5, also known as a half diminished. Okay. Opening chord in Stellar by Starlight. Right, what kind of 4-note chord is this? Let's change the voicings up a little bit. Here we have root, 3rd, flat 7, another root, so there's no 5th in there. Okay, and that is a dominant 7. That voicing reminds me of the Beatles a little bit. If you've done any cover band work, okay, it really reminds me of the Beatles. A kind of 60s UK music vibe. But of course you hear that a lot in blues. Right, one more. What kind of 7th note chord is this? Let's leave an answer in the comments. Okay, what is that? This is an interesting voice in this. So that is a minor 7th chord. Okay, and the reason I say that's an interesting voicing is because a lot of people in the early stages, we discussed this last week, but a lot of people in the early stages of ear development, they hear this chord, which is a minor 7th, and they hear major, which on the surface you think, well, how can you hear a minor chord and hear major? But in actual fact, it's not as crazy as you think, because if I take the root note off, which in this case is a C, and just play the top 4 strings, you're now hearing an E flat major first inversion. Okay, so in actual fact, it's not that crazy to hear that and for your brain to perceive that. If I put the E flat root note in, then you can really hear it is major. Okay, but even without that, that is just a first inversion major chord. So it's not that much of a stretch to hear that and still feel that major tonality. Okay, so if you did sit there and think, oh, I thought that was a major chord, you're not as crazy as you think. Right. Let's just do a couple more. Change a couple of voicings up. What kind of 4-note chord is this? What are you hearing? Major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5. Those are your options. That is a minor 7 flat 5. That could actually be all sorts of things. If we just took this here as a triad, this is one of the things I love about studying harmony. And even going back to when I was in music college, I was fascinated by how our brains can hear a group of notes and perceive it in so many different ways depending upon musical context. So there, within that voice in there, with that root note, which is an A, we have an A minor 7 flat 5. Now, if I played this as our root note, a D, that's a D minor. Okay? A minor 7 flat 5, D minor. If I took that 3rd finger off, we then have D minor 7, different again, slightly different colour. So that's 3 chords already. A minor 7 flat 5, D minor. Now, what if I put my little finger here now on the B flat? How beautiful is that? That's suddenly become a B flat major 7. Okay? You could also play that there as a D shape. It's interesting there. So if you really want to dig in on your ear training and really want to dig in on the difference between that B flat major 7 and then this one, B flat major 7. Now this one is slightly denser. We're talking about chord voicings now. So Now, if you're jamming away and playing in a pub covers band, you're not going to give this a great deal of thought. But if you're recording, okay, perhaps with some other instrumentalists, and you're thinking about what's the best voicing I could choose. This one's got root third. This one's voiced root third, fifth, seventh, third. Well, this one, we don't have, it's going root straight to the fifth, seventh, third. Okay, so they're both major sevens. But if you just listen to the space between, hopefully this is coming out by my microphone. That's the note that's different. Okay, that fills the gap between root, third, fifth. Now if I play this voice in, that note, it's not there. It goes root to fifth, and it just opens up the voicing for us. Okay, so perhaps if you're playing with a pianist and you're trying to stay out of each other's way, that might be a better option because you're not cramming it. It's not such a dense chord voicing. Okay. Either way, they're still both lovely. On its own, I definitely prefer the sound of that because it's got that lower third, okay? If I was playing on my own, in fact, I would be tempted to even take the higher third off, so I've not got 2/3 and just have that. That's beautiful. Okay, and you've also got the seventh on top there. Right, 56 minutes. I think I'm going to call that a day. I'm just going to give one final little exercise because obviously this video will be turned into an ear training video as well. So one cool thing to do, this is a great way of testing if you're jamming with other musicians or you're practicing with other musicians, want to test each other's ears, is to play a very simple chord sequence such as a 5, 4, 1, and then play an interval. Okay, so we're not playing root, third, what interval is that? You can hear that's a third because of the jump. Oh, when here, you're giving it a musical context. You're not hearing the jump, you're having to hear that as a third within that key. So it's slightly harder. It's just one step further along with the ear training, placing the interval within the chord. Let's do another one. Now I'm going to play a note that's not in the chord now. So you're going to hear 5, 4, 1. What's the interval? Okay, 5. It's an E, D. It's harder than just picking up the jump from a root to the interval. So one more time. 5, 4, 1. What is that? I have to think about some of these sometimes. That is a sixth. Okay, it's much easier to hear it. And now, if you're into the blues. Okay. Now listen to it again within the context of the sequence. 5, 4, 1. You're relying on your ear to hear the root note and then the jump. Let's do another one. I'll stay in the same key, okay, because this is slightly harder. 5, 4, 1. What interval is that? 5, 4, 1. There's a tension there, isn't there? Okay, it wants to go somewhere, so it's not part of the chord. That should be your first clue. We're all resolved. Now I'll tell you what I hear there. That note clearly wants to go down. Wants to go down a tone. Okay, so what I'm hearing there is yesterday, and the melody of yesterday takes you down a tone from the second to the root. Okay, so listen now, you've got that information. Wants to come down a tone. Right, that's a nice place to finish. So I'll do more of that. Obviously, these lessons will be turned into separate mode lessons and ear training lessons by my friend and partner Ryan. So this will be up as a separate ear training session afterwards anyway. Thanks for hanging around and watching, and I will see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. GMT. That's London time. Remember, the tab for the modes session is on Patreon, and it's free. Okay, so head over to Patreon. The link is in the description. The backing track I played the arpeggio exercise over, is free on Bandcamp. Okay, we're making everything for these live stream sessions free at the moment. But feel free to join our Patreon anyway. All right, I'll see you soon. Take care. Have a good evening.